Thumbtack presents Uncertainty Strikes. I was surrounded. The aisle and the options were closing in. There were paint rollers, satin and matte finish, angle brushes, and natural bristles. There were too many choices. What if I never got my living room painted? What if I couldn't figure out what type of paint to use? What if I just used Thumbtack? I can hire a top-rated pro that knows everything about interior paint, easily compare prices, and read reviews. Thumbtack knows homes. Download the app today.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. PK, you and Dennis Lindsley pledged your undying devotion to one cause, changing the view of Utah, the Wasatch Front, and Salt Lake City throughout the NBA. And Dennis now works elsewhere, but you're making progress.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he joked about that he and I were going to change the perception of the Jazz because it had been negative, obviously. People had come out and scoffed at it, and I knew nothing. Well, it's not that I didn't know anything about Salt Lake City and Utah. I had been here a time or two, very briefly, if not just driving through on my way to Jackson Hole before I actually got the job with the Tribune and moved here. But then when I got here, you know, you talk about the sleeping giant. I always thought University of Utah football was a sleeping giant because I saw BYU do what they did, and I can remember going back. I can remember literally asking Bruce Woodbury, the longtime sports information director, what's going on here? Why isn't this program better? It should be better. And then it did get better, and look at it now. I was right. And so many people from all walks of life came here and played football here and then stayed in the community. I see them out occasionally, see them at the gym or wherever. And they're fine here. They thrive here. They're not just fine, they thrive here. And why couldn't that be at the professional level? And I think little by little, or big by big, little by big, whatever, it has been chipped away. And this is sort of anecdotal.
It's anecdotal, and how the question is framed
something.
Matters, but that's what I say. There is some truth buried amongst a lot of stuff here. The Athletic ran a player poll, and there were lots of topics. It was a varied thing. But one of the questions in there is, what's the team you least want to be traded to? Oh, but no. The runaway winner. Turns out LeBron James has the pulse of the NBA players. He made a comment about not wanting to go to Memphis. 35.8% of the vote, Memphis by a wide margin. And they're in the middle of a rebuild, and the city's got issues, and nobody wants to go there. Washington was second at 11.7. Sacramento third at 10.8. New Orleans at 6.7. And then Brooklyn and Utah at 5. Largely, players don't want to go play for bad teams. When I look at those 6, what do they have in common? Well, they've been losing. That's what players seem to want to avoid. And we want players who want to be about winning. So, okay, that's good. And the next group of teams, Charlotte and Portland. Now, what I found interesting, Brooklyn got 5% of the vote. New York got 3.3%. And the Lakers got 1.7%. So that's 10% of the vote for New York and L.A. teams. I'm a little surprised the Clippers are the one who wasn't on the list.
Yeah, but some people that involves way more complications.
It does.
If you have a game in the Garden or whatever they're calling the Brooklyn.
So hard to get there and move around. There's so many people.
Yeah.
And let's face it, some people just aren't big city people.
Right.
Not everybody grows up in the big city and wants to be in the big city, and there's the two biggest cities. So I get all of that. Now, I do think this is a little squishy because players don't usually have just one place they don't want to go. If you told a player they're going to have 3, they're going to have 5, they're going to have 8,
this
whatever.
isn't a scientific poll.
Exactly.
We understand that.
But the fact that Utah is now tied for 5th when there's a time that I think we all are pretty sure they would have been 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, it was the butt of jokes.
Yeah.
It was a mock. It was okay. It was fashionable to mock this area. the Carlos Boozer interview in Miami. Well, you're glad, I forget what it was, and the setup to it. Well, good thing you're out of there. And he said, no, it's not that bad. Well, because he's been here. He's been in the community. And he knows what the community's about. And now he knows both. This was a prior administration, but now he knows this administration.
Yeah.
And look at it. The owner is willing to spend money, building a whole basically bought them all. And
yeah, basically.
and
he did. Yeah, he bought the Southtown Mall and he's redeveloping it.
Yes. And it's 2 feet off the freeway.
Hockey facility, basketball facility,
Right.
and now they're partnering with Intermountain Health, and IHC's putting in a big old clinic in there.
Yeah.
Which malls need to be redesigned because so many people shop online now. So
Right. Yes.
So he's
I mean, ever
redesigned-
since
he's-
Kmart went away, that's what I do.
that's it, man. Once you couldn't walk down there and get those cocktail dresses,
Right.
you were
I'd get one a year, whatever was in style. I'd get her one every year. And it worked, let me tell
Yeah.
you. So you got all those things. You've got, and I think Ainge carries a name throughout the NBA. He's still involved. His son has the same name. To an extent, is a chip off the old block, as they say. I think he lives and breathes basketball and has a great sense about what to do basketball-wise. And so that the Ainge name is going to be attached for the Jazz probably for another 15, 20 years, and who knows what happens after that. So everything is pointing in a positive direction. And you got a guy like you got young guys. You got young African-Americans who clearly like it. Keontae George, oh, you want me to go back and represent the team? I'm there. Dress up, looking good, looking sharp, do interviews, presenting it well. Mm-hmm. He's well-spoken, and he's a good player. He's made a dramatic level of improvement. So obviously that speaks to the young man being willing to put the time in. But I think it also speaks to the support staff allowing him and helping him to get better. And so I think that we're to the point in my mind, as much as it can be debunked, it has been debunked.
and it'll still come down to a player-by-player decision. We may still hear it again, but we may not.
But the player...
Nice as hell. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
hold you.
I was going to bring that up, Yak. I was just waiting for him to finish. There are other players. You know, it could be a formal setting, right? When you choose a player to represent the organization at a high-profile TV event, that's one thing. It's another thing when a player, completely unprompted, is driving around town and puts something up on social media.
Nice as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. Nice.
That's Colin Sexton.
Thank you, Colin Sexton.
And, you know, he had a way of expressing himself, or has a way, and he's a little different, and that's fine.
But to your point has always been, let's not lump all the players in the league. We're talking 450 players,
Right.
who are coming from all over the place with all kinds of different experiences.
Right.
All over the country, all over the continent, all over the world.
Well, with
Let's not
foreign
assume.
players, yeah.
Right. Yeah, well,
But the big knock was the young black player couldn't enjoy here.
Right.
No. I always thought that was a racist assumption that you're going to assign a belief to somebody that you've never met, and he's not going to like it here. Bull crap. Maybe some don't.
And that's why I
But
say
so
it'll,
that you
it'll
can go
be,
anywhere, and some don't.
It'll be, well, and this poll shows that. I mean, this poll shows that right there. Just going to NBA players themselves, there's 13 different teams getting votes, almost half the league. And a bunch of them all are the small markets that to one degree or another take this kind of hit. The Indianas, the Milwaukees, the Utahs, and Portlands. You know, it's cold, it's rainy, it's snowy, it's not glamorous, it's not, and they're all on the list. But Brooklyn, New York, L.A., New Orleans, Washington, D.C. are on the list too.
The young African-American who's in the position to play NBA ball has a level of education, we're speaking generally, but has a level of education that he and his folks, whoever they may be, his handlers, literally maybe his folks, has been involved with all sorts of different people, because usually, and most of them are one and done, but they've been identified as a professional prospect 15 maybe, 16, certainly by 17. And
Yes.
he's had varied experiences of playing around the country.
For all the gnashing of teeth.
Interacting with all sorts of people. He has a level of experience that can't be bought in the classroom. Then he goes to college for a year, and he's experiencing all sorts of people. So he's quite comfortable dealing with all sorts of people.
The level of sophistication, and we can gnash our teeth all we want about lost childhoods and AAU professionalizes stuff early on and 14-year-olds are getting paid or whatever. And I get it. There's a downside to all of that. But one of the other things that's happening is there is a level of sophistication to these players.
That's what I'm talking about.
And this generation, it is different now to go into a locker room and talk to a 21-year-old than it was to go into a locker room and talk to a 21-year-old 21 years ago. It is different. And they're looking at things differently. They're thinking differently. Honestly, my kids and their friends talk about stuff differently than I did at that age with my peers. Partly it's just a generational thing. Times always change. Attitudes always change. And so, and maybe it's because they have phones and they're getting news because they got internet on their phone and they're seeing stuff in the world that we just didn't see. We didn't sit down and watch the evening news, and there's nowhere else to get it at our age.
The 20-year-old of today is quite comfortable on his feet.
Yeah.
If you're that level of talent.
Well, and to go back to the Boozer story because it stands out, and it's something we talked about on the show when we got the audio and we played it. Yuck, might even be able to dig it up somewhere. It might be in the archive somewhere still. Is that you think about who Carlos Boozer was when he did that interview. To your point, he grew up in Alaska, right? So that's different. That's extreme. That's unusual. He goes to Duke. Okay, living in the South is different. Then he goes to the upper Midwest. He's in Cleveland. He comes to Utah. He leaves and goes to Chicago, a megacity, for a guy who grew up in a state that doesn't have many people, right? Now he's on the phone either late in his career or after his career. Maybe he was in Chicago at the time. And he's in Miami, which is way different than North Carolina or Utah or Cleveland or Alaska. I mean, that guy can legitimately compare in a way most people can't. I've lived all over the place.
Yeah.
I can compare these places. I've lived it.
Right.
Now, his experience isn't necessarily going to be everybody's experience. I mean, he's a celebrity and he's a multimillionaire, and somebody else is not a celebrity and not a multimillionaire.
Yeah, but that's why you've got kids from Florida choosing to come play ball at Utah.
Boy, NIL is just accelerating this phenomenon as far as, we were talking spring football. Iowa State's got a kid, and he's on his fourth school in 6 years. He's been all over the place.
And BYU just got a commitment from a defensive back from New Jersey.
What?
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen in 30 years ago.
Right. And so that young man, and he's still in high school, so he's a young man.
So we'd say all this stuff.
He's going to be able to converse with people.
But we say all this in the next player because everybody's going to have a different situation when they want to go. The number's not 0. It's still 5%.
Well, it's never going to be 0.
Right.
We understand that.
But the Lakers aren't at 0 either. That was surprising. Do they not want to? They don't want to deal with L.A., or they're not going to get them shots because Doncic takes too many? I always wonder how much of this is because they say they don't want to go to this team. Well, the team is currently in a certain. I mean, Memphis.
Well, these are guys right now.
Right. Memphis is rebuilding now. Memphis was a winning organization 4 or 5 years ago.
What I'm confident in saying, if a player does not want to be here, it's not because this is just like the one guy from San Diego walking in Provo is like walking in Alabama in the 50s.
That's not what...
The police are not going to take out a hose. There's going to be exceptions and there's going to be issues. It's not issue-free. And we're never going to be issue-free in the rest of the history of the world. We're speaking on a broad, general level.
So if a player doesn't want to come for whatever reason, state of the organization, shots, the city, whatever it is, the point now is looking at these numbers. Okay, that player doesn't want to, but the next player will, or the player after that will. But it does suck that back-to-back it was Hayward and Mitchell leaving. Not that long on the heels of Boozer and D. Will leaving. Now, the thing is, when Carlos came back and when he first started doing appearances here, and I always find it weird, the athletes who are really successful and really aggressive, like how low-key and mellow they can be off the court. For whatever reason, I got my assumptions, and that just stuns me. And I've seen that multiple sports, multiple ages. I don't know. I just expect a little more of the Jersey attitude you always talk about all the way through life. So, look, he could not wait to explain, like, hey, I left for basketball reasons. Like, we were going to win. The Lakers were bigger and better. and they were maxed out. And he talked to Greg Miller, and they're over the luxury tax. They're maxed out. They're not going to spend anymore. Like, big guys are expensive. We're not going to get one. If I'm going to win, I got to go somewhere else. He just could not wait to explain. This is a basketball decision. And the whole time I was thinking, I was like, well, yeah, I know you don't know this, but we got the clip from Miami and we played it. I already have a pretty good idea. But he was worried that was the misconception. Like, he was just coming in filled with, fear and loathing and
animosity towards the
animosity and disgust. And no, this is basketball. And I'm like, yeah, if you wanted to go off, you would have gone off on the radio in Miami when you figured there are no repercussions. You could have agreed with a guy, leading question, Your Honor.
Right.
And he didn't.
No.
So, but I do think that it's changed, and partly it's just because things always change, and partly it's because people have tried to change it. Both the Millers and Ryan Smith tried to change things and recognized, hey, there's hurdles here. There's stuff here, it's hard. I mean, we had Joe Ingles on, and you asked him, what do you think? Why? And he said, well, I hear my teammates' stories, and it gives just a certain level of empathy because I know these guys, and I see their faces when they're talking. I'm like, well, this is real. It's not something Joe faced.
Right.
He's a white guy.
That's going to be out there.
Yeah.
It's always going to be out there. I've got friends.
So partly it's happened just because everything evolves over time. Everything's different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, wherever you go. There's partly that, but partly it's been intentional change that both the Millers and the Smiths are like, hey, we got to change some stuff here. And some things are small and some things are big. So it's a combination of, and I do think it goes back to Joe's conversation, and I think when I've heard Ryan Smith talk, it goes back to something you always said. Like, there's problems, but if you really want to change it, it's hard at a societal level to get on social media or get behind a podium and scream at somebody and lecture somebody.
Right.
Form a bond,
right.
Work with somebody, and find out what their hopes and dreams are and what their goals are and what they're willing to do and what their hurdles are.
And then it melts away.
Yeah. And you got a guy that you talk to. I don't know how often you text with him because you text with a lot of people all the time. You're watching games at least 6 nights a week, and you're texting with people while you do. But you talk to him once in a while. But he comes on the show and you can hear the emotion. Like, you guys don't talk all the time, but you got a bond that goes back to sitting at a desk in a building that doesn't exist anymore 35 years ago.
Right.
But that's because you got to know each other. Forget the cliches, right, and forget the posturing and forget the politics. Just, but that goes back to what somebody said a long time ago, famously, the content of the character. You know the content of his character.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. And then if you don't like that person, it may be because something just rubs you wrong. But I believe you end up liking most people that you get to know. Not everyone. I'm not sitting here saying I love everyone. I don't. There's a few people. But most people that I get to know, they're pretty good people. And I do think the bottom line here is that if a player doesn't want to be here, it's not going to be for basketball reasons, and community reasons just are through the roof, and he's going to be miserable. And they can't keep everyone anyway. Yeah. So you can't get everyone you want. But I think the Millers did a fine job. And I think the new administration and ownership has taken the ball, so to speak, and running with it and continuing to chip away.
5%. It was surprising to see that number. But it also looks like this generation of players, man, a lot of this seems to ride on basketball. Not exclusively.
Which probably it should be because it's your job and that's what you're here for.
Yeah. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
For Jazz fans, it's been a rough few years. Well, those days are behind us as the Utah Jazz finally struck gold in the NBA Draft Lottery.
Picking second.
As the Jazz prepare to draft a potential superstar with the number 2 overall pick, nobody will bring you better coverage of the NBA Draft than the KSL Sports Zone. For all the breaking news, high-profile interviews, and player analysis leading right up to draft night, keep it locked on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5. The KSL Sports Zone.
Dedication isn't born in the light of day. It's carved in the quiet hours before the world blinks awake. At Boar's Head, we rise with a mission to deliver craftsmanship worthy of your table. A slice of something special folded into every moment worth savoring. Because dedication means delivering only the very best. Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
Bring on the fun and bring home a new Honda with a great deal on your favorite Honda vehicles. And finally, take that road trip you've been dreaming of. Now's the time to check out the Honda Civic and HR-V from Honda, the 2025 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand.
Based on 2025 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. The chocolate crispy taste gonna make your day. And wherever you go, you hear the people say, give me a break, give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Have a break? Have a Kit Kat.
Introducing Celsius Electric Vibe, a limited-time drop from the Celsius Vibe line. Get a kick of tropical fruit flavors that spark the senses, featuring bright pineapple, vibrant orange, bold cherry, and smooth grape notes. It's a crowd favorite that keeps the energy high from kickoff to the final whistle. Made with zero sugar, this smooth tropical freeze flavor brings intensity to every match, whether you're watching the game or hitting the pitch. Celsius Electric Vibe. Energy for every goal. Try this limited edition flavor today while supplies last and enjoy the game.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
DJ and PK, here we go. Slacker Radio Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit the website at TrajanWealth.com. Stuff we've been talking about. NBA playoffs, another overtime game. It'll be fascinating to watch these next two games. Can Oklahoma City and Cleveland shake it off?
So you tell me I got to watch NBA playoff basketball that's exciting and thrilling? This job sucks.
You waited through a month of blowouts, and you are being rewarded with competitive, dramatic, entertaining hoops.
Yeah, I think we usually are.
It's been a long month.
This time of year, but this is where we're at.
First world problems.
But I always know it's coming. So I don't sweat.
There's too many playoff games and too many playoff series not to have something dramatic.
Sweat the early blowouts. And I actually think, okay, great. Now I can go do something else. Now, if it's the Jazz, it's another story. I'm start to finish. But we're talking about these out-of-town teams.
When the Knicks are hammering Philly.
Yeah.
Next.
But I know that we're going to get down to the best of the best, and away we go. And we'll have it for another, 4 weeks? And then we got the draft. And, oh, my gosh. then it just blows up big time. And that'll carry us for weeks and right into football. Which carries us through to the end of the year.
And that'll be fun until we get Major League Baseball. 2031, how you doing? Let's go.
And then after that, the Jazz will be rolling, the hockey team will be rolling, and that'll carry us into the winter.
And we'll be right back here again.
Yeah.
Yeah. With more playoff teams and more playoff games.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Well, fine with it. That's the understatement of the year in terms of my employment.
That's why we got into this.
I'm ecstatic for it.
Will Oklahoma City bounce back tonight? I'm expecting they will. I expect a long playoff series. I don't expect either team to go out and pull away.
Well, Holmgren and SGA have to play better. We've got to make more shots.
Fact.
Got to make themselves more of a prominent player in each individual role that he has for the team. I mean, it did take a lot for San Antonio to win that game. It's not a breeze.
Wembayama had to go off, and then he had to hit a deep three on top of that, which is weird that he was from almost the exact same spot that Steph Curry hit one to break hearts there a few years ago. But nonetheless, he did it, and hearts were broken again. But it's just one game. 7-game series, long way to go. Can't rationalize like that if they drop game 2 tonight. Hard to say must win.
Massive hole.
Hard to say must win in game 2, but they really need to win this.
Massive hole. Any team that goes down 0-2. And obviously, from the psychological reasoning,
dropping 2 at home sucks.
Yes. Although I don't think it's impossible for
it's been done before. It is
SGA
not impossible.
and his guys to win 2 games on the road. But I'll turn it on and we'll see what happens. I can't predict anything. I expect those 2 guys to have more influence on the outcome than they had in game 1.
Cleveland. In Cleveland. Made a mess out of that. 22-point lead with 7.5 minutes to go. I forget what the number is. The Elias Sports Bureau spit it out. I think it's teams were 0-636 or something over the last 30 years. Unprecedented in this century. And yet, that 18-1 run, it was just too easy. They got back too quickly. And I still thought Cleveland's, they're going to hit a couple shots here and hold them off.
I did too.
And then when I started to doubt that, Harden actually hit a shot, and he was 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter. But he hit the one with 30 seconds left. They got a good shot, and he made it. It was like, okay, it's one stop, they grab a rebound, and they win this game, and it's crazy.
That's all that matters.
It's a crazy fourth quarter, but it's 1-0. Bud Brunson scored again, and Sam Merrill's shot spun out. I got to say, I didn't think Cleveland was going to score with 3 seconds left. I thought it was headed overtime for sure. And then I saw the shot he got and saw the ball half win. I was like, he's going to win. It's like it was San Diego State in the Mountain West Conference tournament all over again. Sam's going to be the hero again, and then it spun out.
Well, he certainly wasn't the GOAT.
No. No, actually, in the 11
to
points.
be dogpiled.
Yeah, in addition to, he's there to make shots, but he had to play where he drove to the free throw line, drew the defense, turned around and kicked it to where he'd been, and they got an open 3 and made it. It's like a rare assist. Somebody made a play for somebody else.
If he would have made that shot, it would have been the greatest shot by a Latter-day Saint since Danny Ainge against Notre Dame.
There you go.
You're running through them, but you can't top it.
Oh, it would be him in the Mountain West Conference tournament in Vegas. Yeah. See, Jimmer, the shot he hit individually was in a blowout. I mean, a half court at the Huntsman, everybody remembers it. But
I was there.
But they were going to win the game. They already had a big lead. It was already clear what was going to happen. It was just punctuation.
It was nice of him to show up.
If you were a Cougar fan, not if you were a U fan. And then the game he had against New Mexico, I just don't think there was one signature shot. He had a great game, I think, against Florida in the NCAA tournament. I don't think there's a signature shot. It's a great game. He piled up the points.
Oh, I think his best game was New Mexico in the semis of his senior year.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he absolutely went on. He had 50, right? 49, 50.
I think he had like 53.
Oh, 53, okay. Just massive.
Something like that.
Just every time down. They've got to go to him, and New Mexico knows it. Can they stop him? No. Just over and over and over.
Yeah.
And I'm running through big, huge shots, but it's Keith Van Horn. So.
Well, he had a couple at the buzzer in the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah.
I guess it would have been the WAC tournament.
Yeah, it was a WAC tournament.
Yeah. So, but it didn't go in. If I'm Cleveland, I am so irritated to the point I want to play today. But I don't think I'm discouraged. You got 3 more chances, assuming you push it to 7.
Doesn't Oklahoma City feel exactly the same way? They get to play today. They already had their day off. But they're not discouraged. They're irritated. Should have won that game.
Well, but I don't think that Oklahoma City was a 99% chance to win.
No, but I think Oklahoma City still feels like we made a gazillion mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And we should have won that game. There was really no reason to lose it. And then we fought back through all the mistakes and trailing the whole game, and we had it. And then Big Vic throws one in from 38 feet or whatever it was.
Well, I think he shot it in form.
He did, but nonetheless. Once you get outside of 30 feet, the percentages drop. Even if you're Damian Lillard and Steph Curry.
Throw it in.
He did. The form was good, considering really how fatigued he was and how tired he was late in the game. And he talked about it after the game and how many minutes he played and the energy he put out. He was playing hard, battling for those rebounds. He got 24 of them. But yes, his form was good. The feet were set. It was even. It wasn't an off-balance runner. He's running up court, but his momentum, got balanced.
Right.
Yeah.
Fine shot. Looked
then
awesome.
He drained it.
I think that if I were to say in analyzing these two teams, I think Oklahoma City has slightly better personnel, but Big Vic is Big Vic. And he can influence a game from so many ways. You can argue there's not a player in the league right now who influences winning and contributes to winning in a more diversified way than he does.
Yeah, I get it. Contribute to winning in a diversified way. Right now, I would say Big Vic and the Joker. They both do a lot of stuff. But the thing you got to go with Big Vic first is he isn't just a good defender. He is a massive, imposing force. And the Joker is not.
I mean, he's just so long.
Right. The Joker can shoot it, pass it, and rebound it.
He's not a long 7-footer.
He is not.
This guy seems to have arms and legs that are extensions. And so you're blocking 12 shots in a playoff game? My goodness, that's going to get my attention every time. And you're not one-dimensional or largely one-dimensional. That's very impressive. So right now, today, he's the best player in the league.
Coach is getting fired. I know SGA got the MVP, but if you take SGA off the Thunder, they're still a playoff team. If you take Big Vic off the Spurs, are you sure they're a playoff team?
Well, I would want to see it because then other guys have an opportunity to step up.
I would say no, not yet. They might be on their way. They have some promising young guys, but it's been accelerated because of his greatness.
Sure, you go Castle and Harper, but then a guy like Fox, would he have a bigger role into where he could do some more stuff?
I can see where Big Vic, because of the roster, is more valuable to Oklahoma City than SGA is. And SGA is an excellent player, not dumping on him, but they have a better roster. They would still be, I firmly believe they'd still be a playoff team without him.
Okay.
And I do not have anywhere near that level of confidence in the Thunder.
I hear you, Twin. I hear you.
Coach is getting fired. What a day. Dallas Mavericks parting ways with Jason Kidd. There's plenty of reports out now that Kidd wanted out. Whatever conversations they'd had, he got passed over for the job.
Don't kid yourself.
Whatever conversations they had, give me my money, I'll get out of your way. You get your guy, I'm out of here. Vegas will not let Edmonton and L.A. interview Bruce Cassidy, who they still owe for a year's worth of work. The Canucks fired Adam Foote. So, coach is getting fired all over the place.
I think Vegas won't do it until a settlement is reached.
Yeah.
And what are they looking for?
Money back. We don't want to pay you $5.
Yeah. We've seen that occasionally.
Negotiated in a new deal wherever you would go.
Yeah, and so what do you get compensation? Isn't there been some NFL teams that wanted compensation?
Yeah, if you trade, you can trade head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Gruden got traded, and they got a
right.
There's a certain level of pick you get out of it.
Yeah. Go back and forth. Have they done that? Have they done it in baseball?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I kind of think they have. I can't remember. We got to ask. We have the daughter of a former big league manager going to be playing basketball for the University of Utah. Did you guys see that?
Who?
Joe Girardi's daughter.
All right. I did not see that.
Yeah.
I missed it too, yeah.
She, was it Oklahoma State? She transferred in. We got to get her on. Talk some baseball. Joe Girardi, former manager of the Yankees. I think he's current broadcaster now. Yeah.
He's had a good long career in baseball.
Yeah.
College baseball, BYU beat Texas Tech, but Utah got knocked out of the Big 12 tournament 9-5. It's single elimination. BYU's got to play today. This is a half dozen teams getting double byes, so BYU's going through pitching, and the only way to get the NCAA tournament is to win this thing. They got to win 5 in a row. It seems very, very unlikely. But
yeah, but they 10-run Texas Tech. You got a little bit of redemption and claim some satisfaction. Take that, Cody Campbell.
They're not investing in baseball. They're invested in softball. That was a heck of a game.
Oh, I was dancing on Texas Tech's grave when the Sun Devil women beat them to win the Big 12 championship, which I believe was their 4th or 5th. Now, they sponsor 26 sports, which is way more than anybody in the conference. And so they got one in softball, and then they won. Oh, and then they grand slammed 8-run. I guess it isn't just softball. They grand slammed Texas A&M.
Take that, SEC.
And we're going back in the Super Regional, and we're going to punk Texas. Bring all your Texas teams, and we're going to whip you.
You took down Tech. You took down A&M. Now?
The big dog.
UT, baby.
Yeah.
College golf. BYU, final round of the 3-round NCAA regionals today. Carlsbad, California. The Cougars sitting in 5th with a couple of schools 1 and 2 shots behind them in Charleston, Illinois.
Carlsbad. They're trying to get to Carlsbad.
Oh, they're trying to get to Carlsbad.
They're in Athens, Georgia.
I've been to Carlsbad, and you should try to get to Carlsbad.
They're at the University of Georgia. Okay. So BYU, it's hanging in the balance today. The Utes.
So is Bruce Brockbank's career.
The Utes backed up. So they are now 15 shots behind the 5th place team.
Is Johnny's son going to get that gig?
I would imagine Todd's on the short list, if not the favorite for it. He's been the director of golf for however long he's been there.
Yeah. Maybe Johnny would want it.
Seems like a natural transition.
Hey, Johnny, you want to come down from Red Ledges?
I think he sold his place up there is what I was told.
The Mets going to Met, PK. An inside the park home run. Did you think that was scored generously? Should that have been a 4-base error?
No.
There's little Keystone Cops out there at the wall. But
he left his feet and goes up against the wall. And then it ricochets. The center fielder has no idea where the freaking ball is.
No. It didn't look good.
And the left fielder stands there thinking the center fielder is going to go get it.
And now the ball's rolled away, and it's okay. Yeah, a little league home run feel to it.
And James Wood gets Corbin Carroll last night for the Diamondbacks. He, in the first inning, he gaps one to left center, and he's really fast, right? So he's going to go for 3, and he's booking it, and he slides, and as he's about at the shortstop, where the shortstop would play, his helmet comes off, right? So his head's exposed. The relay from the shortstop, I think, maybe second base, they throw it to third, hits him right square in the noggin, in the back of the head.
Ow.
He's sliding, right? And it ricochets down the left field line. And the third base coach is yelling, "You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go." And he's like, "My head hurts."
I'm dazed. I'm dazed and confused.
So it takes him a second.
But because the ball was so far away.
Yeah, and then he gets up and he runs and he's like, "I just got in the head, man." And they take him in the locker room. He stayed in the game, but yeah, directly in the head. He's probably got I wouldn't be surprised if he's out today. He's got a little goose egg there.
All right, DJ and PK, stay with us. Coming up next, it's your feedback on the way.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
DJ and PK, it's time for your feedback. What do you have to say about today's show? Should BYU versus Notre Dame be played annual? An annual football game with the Cougars and the Irish. From Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey. Yeah. Big 12 runner-up is all about it. Why are we talking about it? Just go do it. The dude says, well, doing so would put BYU's strength of schedule continually at the top of the conference and bring it closer in line with the Big Ten and SEC, eliminating legitimacy questions when the playoff selection comes around.
Hopefully.
Oh, I was going to say, possibly, probably.
Yeah.
Not assuredly. Sam, maybe 2 out of 4 years, we should have some scheduling flexibility. I guess Sam wants to see somebody else.
Well, you have 2 other games.
It's just accepted at this point that one's a money game with a FCS opponent, and then one is against a Mountain West or Pac-12 team.
It's accepted?
I think that is commonly believed.
Probably better, I guess, for you from what you want and what you need and what you have to do when you get into the Big 12 schedule.
Don't get too beat up. Don't give yourself another chance to lose.
That's the theory. I think it's more about losing.
Another
I don't
chance to
know
lose.
that any of these teams, one is where you'd be just scot-free and not have to worry about any injuries and the toughness and the physicality. That's just the nature of the game.
And really, even how hard the game would be. Teams are going up and down these days, transfer portals and coaches move, and Iowa State's got a really good program 1 minute, and then the next minute, total turmoil. People don't know each other's names.
That's true. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't know when you're going to get a team. There was a time where Houston was really good. There was a time where Houston was way down, and now it looks like Houston's on the way back. But Houston's one big year away from having their coach poached by somebody with more money.
Yeah, I can tell you Whittingham and I, for the years, have had many discussions where he said, if I could only coach at Michigan.
You did not. Literally on nobody's radar, including his.
Until it was.
Until it was. Do you think it was on his radar the day they let Moore go? Or did it take a little bit of time?
He claims that he doesn't know
what day he was on
that
the
they
radar?
went through Tollner and, who contacted whom. But
at the time, I can believe they went to the agent first, but I got to believe he's looped in pretty quick.
Oh, for sure.
Come on.
I think there was an idea that this will be discussed, and then we'll go from there. And once it was discussed, we will not only go from there, we will literally go to there. And it was quick. And why wouldn't it be quick? I mean, very few chances are you going to get a coach of that caliber who then becomes renewed and wakes up every day saying, okay, who can I get back today? Who can I show today who I am?
Yeah. The only part of it that struck me as weird, I don't know if we've talked about this, what I didn't like, they did the thing, and I know why they did it. I know how it plays with Michigan fans. He walks into the big house, coming from little old Utah, and he looks at, wow. And I walk in, I'm like, he coached there multiple times. It's not his first time in the stadium. It was on TV. We all saw it. He's been back there 3 times. Twice as a head coach, once as a coordinator. But walking in and things covered in snow. Oh, wow, I've never seen some place as magical as Michigan. Stop it! You went to Michigan and beat them. And then you went to Michigan and you beat them again. And they're like, well, it's different when it's empty. Yeah, it was empty after the storm. When Utah was handed to Michigan, their fans went home.
Well, everything is social media available.
I know.
Now,
they had to do it. I
production.
get it. It's like walk down the tunnel and we'll look up. So he looks up and they shoot the video.
This is the greatest sight these eyes have ever seen.
I know. It's kind of
Rudy.
They played Michigan 4 times and 3 of them were in Ann Arbor. We all know that.
Oh, yeah. He is psychologically and mentally and confidence-wise, he doesn't take a backseat to anybody.
All right, DJ PK, we're out of time. Coming up next, Scotty G and the coach Tim Lacombe. Stay with us.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Just top.